I'm Lucas Dupre, 45, selling books in New Orleans' French Quarter, where St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 festers like an open wound. Built in 1789, its tombs hold the dead, Marie Laveau, Voodoo Queen, and sailors like Henry Viennes, lost forever. Last month, my shop's mirror showed my daughter Sophie, gone since 2012, her eyes black, whispering, "Lucas, now something's clawing from the vaults, blood seeping through the graves. It's awake, and it's got my name. Hold tight. This one's a soul shredder." Some places don't mourn, they hunger. I'm Lucas Dupre, 45, running a bookstore in New Orleans' French Quarter, where St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 squats like a stone beast beyond Rampart Street. Built in 1789, it's the city's oldest graveyard. Its above-ground tombs stacked tight, holding Creole families, voodoo queens, and sailors who never found peace. Locals whisper of Marie Laveau, her tomb marked with X's, granting wishes, and Henry Viennes, a sailor whose grave was sold, his ghost wailing for rest. I called it tourist nonsense till last month, when my shop's mirror showed Sophie, my daughter, vanished near the cemetery in 2012, her eyes black, mouth hissing, "Lucas." New Orleans is a fever now, air thick with jasmine and dread, the quarter humming like a trap. I stack books, not ghost stories, but that mirror's pulling me, like a blade in my ribs. Last night a wail tore through my shop, low, guttural, rising from the cemetery's vaults. I'm in my truck, Sophie's hairpin in my pocket, air sharp with rot and fear. "Lucas." The streetlights flicker, graves pulsing red, and something moves in the dark, eyes like embers glowing. The vaults are awake and they've got my name in their claws. The shop's a relic, a block from the cemetery, its floorboards creaking, humming faint like a dying pulse. Sophie's hairpin's heavier than steel, etched with an X, oozing blood. "Lucas, look." My old tour guide notes, found in my desk, mentioned 2007. Wails from the tombs, walls bleeding, a woman's scream like a knife. The last page burns. "Lucas, stay away," in my writing, though I never touched it. I try to snap the pin, but it's unyielding, humming low, a pulse that cracks my teeth. My radio crackles, no signal, just a whisper, wet, like blood on stone, hissing, "Find me, Lucas." I park by the cemetery, engine off, air thick with ash and something sour, like flesh gone bad. The pin has an X, deep pulsing red, like a wound that breathes. My headlights flicker and the whispers closer from the cemetery's core, low, wailing, ravenous. "You owe me, Lucas." My skin crawls, but I step out, boots scraping stone, each step sinking into a trap. The quarter swallows the cemetery, a red glow bleeding from the vaults, like eyes in the dust. The pin's burning my palm, though it's in the truck, new words scratched, dripping. It sees. I ain't alone, and the vault's claws are digging in. The cemetery's alive, dust so thick it chokes, air wet with something that smells of decay. My flashlight's fading, catching shapes, tattered shawls, eyes like ash, hands reaching, gone when I blink. The whisper's sharper, old, desperate, like it's been wailing since the 1800s fell. "Lucas, you forgot me." I curse back, hear echoes, but my lungs burn, like the dust's got teeth inside me. Sophie's diary stops mid-2012. Something in the vaults, not a queen, not a lie. The rest's torn, but the X is scratched on every page, deeper, like it's clawing out. A photo slips from my coat, one I didn't take. Me by the cemetery, dust coiling around me, my eyes glowing red, wrong, hollow. The wail comes again, deafening from the vaults, and the whisper shifts, like Sophie, lost in 12, her voice choked, then a scream, guttural from the dark. I push to the vaults, find a gate, iron rusted, air hot, a mirror shattered, showing my face, but not mine, hers, pale, eyes black with thread, mouth screaming my name. The X's carved in the dust, glowing red, oozing black slime that smells of rot. The voice is a choir now, Sophie, others chanting, "Find her." Something scrapes the graves, wet, like flesh dragging. The pin's in my hand, words fresh, dripping. "Look deeper, Lucas." I back away, and the mirror reforms, glass melting into the X, the choir screaming my name a wound in the dust. I stumble back to my shop, hands shaken, pin buried in my bag, its hum like a heartbeat. I find Clara, 62, a retired voodoo priestess who guided cemetery tours in the 90s, now holed up in trim, eyes sharp, fingers scarred from something that wasn't a fire. She's at a cafe, voice low, like she's scared the walls are listening. "The vaults," she whispers. "They're real, Lucas. Never stopped." She talks of 1999, tourists here in Wales, seeing a woman in white, her scream splitting their minds, her hands leaving burns. Clara saw her in '03, a shadow by the vaults, eyes black, wailing her name, her shawl dripping black ooze. She warns me about the pin. "It's hers, Lucas, not yours." Finds Dupre, folks with loss, drags their pain up like a hook. I don't speak of Sophie, gone after a fight I couldn't stop, her voice still clawing my dreams. But Clara knows, her eyes cutting through my silence like a blade. "Bury it, Lucas. Leave Louisiana." I leave, but the pin's heavier, the X on my palm, faint, burning like ice. Back in my truck, the air's thick and the choir's louder. Sophie, strangers chanting, "You owe her." I find a new mark, oozing tar. "City won't save you." The cafe's lights flicker, and Clara's bike is parked, empty, the X scratched deep, frame pulsing like flesh. I'm back at the cemetery, no choice, the pin pulling me like a chain around my throat. The dust's alive, drifts humming, graves curling like veins, cold and wet. Every night, I see them. Shadows in the aisles, not human, but shapes, tattered, hollow, their limbs twisting like they're sewn from nightmares. They vanish when I stare. But my shop's books are moved, pages tipped, their edges coated in slime, the X carved around them. The radio's dead, but it crackles, spitting voices from 1819, Sophie shouting, "He's here!" Then a wet gurgle, like something tore her throat. I set up a recorder, catch whispers no voice could make. "Lucas, you left me," they wail, or open the gate. The recordings warp, like the cemetery's chewing them, but one name's clear, slithering through. Laveau. Marie Laveau, voodoo queen, her tomb a shrine since the 1830s, marked with X's, her spirit granting wishes or cursing fools. I dig through archives, find a priest's letter. "It walks, not a queen, drinks pain, knows names, its eyes see all." My name's in the margin, scratched fresh, wet with ink that smells of decay. The shadows are bolder, standing by gates, their eyes black, their hands dripping black ooze, reaching for me. I check my rear view, see my face, but my eyes flicker, red, like hers, my skin scaling at the edges. The pin's in my hand, always there, the X glowing, words new, bleeding. "You're hers, Lucas." The dust hums, graves bend, their stone pulsing, faces in the aisles. Sophie's, mine, all screaming, mouths gaping too wide. 10 days in, I see her. A woman in white, pale as bone, eyes black with thread, standing by the vaults, her wail like a shard in my skull. Her shawl is wrong, moving like it's alive. Faces pressing out from the fabric, their mouths gaping, spewing dust. The pin's alive, humming so loud my teeth ache, showing me 1819. Creoles choking on air, Laveau wailing, the vaults pulsing with their pain. The voices are here, not whispers, but screams, from the graves, the air, the dark, clawing at my mind. "Lucas, you left me." I run, but the cemetery shakes, gates cracking, splinters oozing red, like the tombs are bleeding. The shadows are everywhere, not just the woman, but things with no faces, limbs twisting, the X carved in their chests, oozing pus. I reach the truck, but she's there in the windshield staring, her face mine, but pale, lips split, teeth jagged. My phone's got a photo, one I didn't take. Me by the vaults, staring up, my eyes black, the X carved on my neck, skin peeling back. The pin's new mark, wet with slime. "You can't hide." I find a note in Sophie's diary, dated 1789. It's not Laveau, not a ghost. Older than the cemetery. fed by grief, blood, shame. We woke it. My name scratched at the bottom, in my writin', but I never wrote it, and the paper smells of rot. The woman's closer, in the dust, the graves, her wail a needle in my brain, promise in pain. I tracked down Father Benoit, 57, a priest who served at St. Louis Cathedral in the 2000s, living in Algiers, hands shaking, scarred from something that wasn't a fall. He's nervous, eyes darting, shows me a 1936 report. It ain't a woman, moves like it's hunting, knows who it wants. Benoit says the X is ancient, older than New Orleans, tied to the vaults, a thing that feeds on loss, families like mine. It picks men, Lucas, broken men, you're marked. He warns me to ditch the pin, flee Louisiana, but it won't leave my hand. It's cold, burning like acid. That night, Benoit's rectory is dark, his car gone, the X scratched on his gate, iron weeping black tar. The voices are louder, not just in the cemetery, but in my truck, my head, chanting, "Find her, Lucas." I dream of the woman, her eyes a void, faces trapped in her shawl. Sophie, me, our mouths black, screaming. I'm back at the vaults, no choice. The pin a chain around my soul. The cemetery's alive, graves pulsing. The X everywhere, gates, dust, my skin, oozing red. The air smells of blood and something wet slithers in the dark, watching me. I'm losing time, days slipping like ash through my hands. I wake by the vaults, no memory of driving. The pin in my fist, my arms bloody, X's scratched in the stone, pulsing like veins, oozing red. The stone is wrong, bulging, flesh-like, oozing pus that smells of rot and copper. I touch it, and it twitches, whispering my name in Sophie's voice, soft, broken, accusing. The shadows are solid, walking, their eyes black, Sophie's face, but their mouths gape, spewing dust that smells of decay. They hiss my sins. Sophie, gone because I was guiding, missed her call, left her to vanish, her screams echoing in my guilt. The X is on my arm, deeper, glowing, and when I touch it, I see them. Creoles, their throats torn, not by fever, but her, something older, rising from the vaults, its eyes an X of hunger. I find more pins, hidden under the floor, all Dupre, all with my name, all pulsing coated in slime. They show me 1819, Creoles screaming, their blood feeding something below, its hands in their hearts. The radio plays their voices, live, like they're here, begging, "Lucas, don't open it." I try to call Benoit, get static. Then his voice, not his, gurgled, saying, "You're late." The woman's here, always here, her shadow in every mirror. The X everywhere, grave, dust, my flesh. I don't run, but she's in me. Her voice my thoughts, her hunger gnawing my bones. The cemetery's changing, or I'm breaking. Graves twist, their stone pulsing, the dust boils, vaults loop into nowhere, like St. Louis is mocking me. The voices are a choir, thousands strong, some from 1819, some older, from before the city, all clawing at my name. The pins humming so loud my ears bleed, showing me Sophie, vanishing in the graves, her eyes black, the X on her chest, flesh melting. My name's everywhere, gates dust my skin, carved deep oozing black pus. I meet a groundskeeper, Amos, who's seen her in the vaults back in 15. He's terrified, hands shaking, says he heard the wail by the vaults, saw her eyes, black, burning through his dreams. The X is her mark, he says, voice cracking. It takes families, keeps them, forever. He shows me his arm, the X, faint, weeping like a wound. That night, Amos is gone, his shed empty, the X on his door, wood pulsing like it's breathing. The choir's deafening, led by the woman, her voice soft, slithering. "Lucas, join us." The woman's here, her shadow a void, the X spinning, dragging me down. The pin's pulling me and I fight it, but the cemetery's hers, and I'm hers too. I dig through city archives, find a deed, 1788, for the cemetery's land, marked with X's, owned by a sect who vanished, their kin gone, no graves, no trace. The Dupre settled it, built homes, woke it with their pain. The woman wasn't the first. Families vanished here for centuries, their bones found with X's carved deep, marrow gone. I find a letter from a missionary, 1790, who saw the cemetery's land post storm, empty but alive, the X glowing in the dust, graves weeping blood. "It's not a ghost," he wrote, ink smeared with fear. "It's a door. The shadows are me now, my face, my voice, urging me to open it, to let her out. I see the Creoles, not dead, but trapped, in the vaults, in her, their eyes black, their flesh melting into her shawl. The pin shows me Sophie, not gone, but hers, her body twisting, worms bursting from her chest. The X's on my chest, complete, burning, and the voices are one, not the woman's, but hers, the thing below, promising peace, power. If I turn the X, I fight it, but the vaults are hers, pulling me to the tomb, the cemetery a cage, the pin her teeth. New Orleans is unraveling, folks whispering about whales, missing dogs, dust creeping into homes. I overhear a fight in my shop, men blaming each other, saying the cemetery's cursed, hunting sinners. An old woman grabs my arm, eyes wild, says she saw her daughter's face in the graves last night, her eyes black, screaming. I visit Sister Marie, 61, a nun who prayed at St. Louis Cathedral in the 80s, her hands raw from clutching a rosary. She says the vaults are a judgment, the woman no ghost, but a curse, fed by secrets like mine. I don't tell her about Sophie, how I let her go, how her screams wake me, but Marie's eyes bore in. She shows me a 1819 Bible, X's scratched in the leather, pages stuck with dried blood, smelling of rot. "Bury the pin, Lucas," she begs, voice shaken. I leave, but the pin's heavier, its X on my neck, pulsing like a second heart. That night, the convent is dark, Marie's car empty, the X carved in the door, wood oozing green slime. The choir's in my head, chanting, "You can't save them." I dream of Sophie, her face half gone, worms writhing where her mouth should be, calling me. I track down Amos's brother, Julian, a bartender in Marigny, 39, eyes haunted. He's seen the pin, knows the X, says Amos ranted about it before he vanished, clawing at his skin. "It's not just the Dupre," he says, voice low. "The cemetery's cursed, Lucas, older than us, and it keeps what it takes." He shows me photos from 2012, a shadow by the vaults, pale, its X glowing red, air warped around it. Julian's got the X too on his wrist, faint, oozing something that ain't blood. He joins me, desperate, at the cemetery, his hands shaken, but his jaw set. We search the graves, find nothing, but the cemetery fights us, dust choking, shadows walking, their eyes black, their hands dripping slime. Julian's flashlight dies and he screams, "Lucas, it's here!" I grab him, but he's gone, his jacket empty, the X on my pin, metal wet with black ooze. The choir screams, "Open it!" And the woman's there, her shadow a void, the X spinning, pulling me in. I stumble out, alone, the pin humming, Julian's name in it, fresh beside mine, letters dripping, the cemetery screaming, and I'm her prey. I'm seeing things, or she's in me. Every mirror shows my face but wrong, scales creeping up my cheeks, my eyes flickering red, teeth too sharp. I scratch my arm, and something moves under the skin, small, wriggling, like a worm with claws, clawing at my veins. The pin's humming louder, showing me visions. Sophie, her body split open, worms spilling out, her voice begging, "Why'd you leave me?" I try to sleep, but the wail is inside my skull and my dreams are hers. Graves bleeding, dust burning, faces trapped in her eyes, screaming my name. I find a note in my pocket, not mine. "Lucas, you're the key." The X is spreading, on my legs, my back, each mark pulsing, like it's eaten me alive. I drive to Baton Rouge, hoping distance helps. But the radio plays Sophie's voice, not dead, but hers, laughing, "You're mine." The city's quiet, but houses are wrong, their windows pulsing, faces forming in the glass, eyes weeping tar. I scream, and the cemetery screams back. 1,000 voices, all mine. I find a 1788 map in the archives, hidden in a church vault, showing the cemetery's land marked with X's, labeled forbidden. A note scrawled by a Creole says the dust bled when they dug, and something rose, its eyes taking their names. The Dupre weren't the first. Families vanished here for centuries, their bones found with X's carved deep, marrow sucked dry. I visit a local, Marguerite, 82, who remembers her grandpa's tales of 1900, how the woman wasn't just a ghost, but a curse, fed by hate. She says the whales scared off natives, kept them from settling. The dust, a holy man's lie, turned real. Marguerite's scared, her hands shaken, shows me a scar, X-shaped, from a night in 61, when she heard the wail. I leave, but her house is dark by dusk. Windows shattered, the X on her porch, wood pulsing like a heart. The pin's in my hand, showing me Marguerite, her face melting, her voice in the choir chanting, "Open it." The cemetery's bleeding now, red ooze seeping from the graves, smelling of iron and rot. I'm back at the cemetery, the grave's a nightmare, gates collapsing, their iron turning to flesh, worms bursting through. The shadows are bolder, not just human, but things. Their bodies split open, revealing mouths inside mouths, teeth like needles, spewing dust. They whisper my guilt. Sophie, Marguerite, Amos, Julian, all dead because I kept digging, kept chasing the pin. I find a child's shoe in the dust, fresh, bloodied, the X on it, and my stomach churns, bile rising. The pin's humming so loud my bones shake, showing me 1819. Creoles eating each other, their eyes black, the woman's hands in their throats. I try to burn the pin, but it laughs. The flames turning green, forming faces. Sophie's mine, all screaming. The choir's a roar, thousands now, their voices wet, like they're drowning in blood. I see her again, standing by the vaults, her eyes an X, her shawl dripping flesh, her wail tearing my mind apart. The ground splits, and something rises, not the woman, but her source, a mass of worms, eyes, mouths, all singing my name. I'm running, but the cemetery won't let me go, gates bending, their frames like claws, dripping black ooze. The pin's in my hand, though I threw it away, its X burning through my skin, into my blood. I find a drifter, Elise, 42, who's seen her cat torn apart last week, the X on its bones. She's crazed, eyes bloodshot, says the woman's not one ghost, but many, a hive, living in the graves. Elise joins me, desperate, but the cemetery turns on us, the dust sucking at our lungs, like it's hungry. We find a vault, its walls breathing, faces pushing out, their mouths gaping, spewing the choir's song. Elise screams, and she's gone, pulled into the ground, her hand left behind, the X on it, still twitching. The pin shows me Elise, her body split, worms bursting out, her voice in the choir chanting, "Lucas, you're next." I'm alone, the cemetery closing in, the woman's eyes everywhere, her wail my heartbeat. I hear a new voice, not Sophie's, not the woman's, but a girl's, crying from the graves. I find a girl, maybe 12, standing in the dust, her eyes black, the X on her chest, oozing pus. She says her name's Celeste, lost in 77, her mama praying by the vaults when the dust took her. Celeste's hands are wrong, fingers too long, dripping slime, and she whispers, "You're like me, Lucas." I try to run, but she's in my head, showing me her death, dust choking, her mama's screams, worms crawling from her eyes. The pin hums, showing me Celeste, her body a hive, worms bursting from her skin, her voice soft. "Help me." I reach for her, but she's gone, the dust swallowing her. The X on my hand, her name beside mine. The choir's louder, Celeste's voice leading, "Open it, Lucas." I'm breaking, the cemetery's breaking me, and the woman's laughing, her wail in my blood. I'm done fighting. The cemetery's waiting, the vault's gate open, the woman there, her shadow a wound in the dust, the choir deafening. The pin's a map, showing me the tomb, the X, the door. I descend alone, to the dark, it's cold glowing, the X everywhere, walls, floor, my flesh, oozing red. The Creoles are there, not dead, but hers, their hands reaching, their eyes black, their bodies twisting, worms spilling out. I find the X, a vortex, spinning, alive, its edges pulsing like a heart, spewing black tar. The pin's in my hand, though I left it above, and it burns, showing me Sophie, Celeste, all hers, their faces melting into her eyes. The voices are one, the thing below, ancient, endless, promising peace, family, oblivion. I touch the X, and it screams, my blood mixing with the ground, the cemetery shattering. You're home. The earth shakes, the world shakes, and I'm not Lucas, not anymore. I'm back in New Orleans or somewhere, selling books, no graves, no wails. The X is on me, faint, glowing, and the voices are quiet, but not gone, whispering in dreams, my name in the dust, the tap of fingers. The vaults are gone, or I am, but I see them in mirrors, in the dark, her shadow my skin, her eyes mine, weeping tar. Julian's kid calls, says he's got a pin, my name in it, but I burn his number, move again. The X's multiply on my walls, my truck, my dreams, and I find pins not mine, in my shop, all hers, all humming, coated in slime. I'm not Lucas, or not just Lucas. I'm the keeper, the door, her claw, her hunger. The cemetery's in me, her roots my blood, her wail my breath. I dream of Sophie, her body a hive, worms bursting, her voice soft. You let it out. The shop's quiet, but the walls pulse, the X forming, and I know she's here, watching. I move to Mobile, thinking distance'll save me, but the dust follows, thick, alive, humming with her voice. Every night I hear it, the wail, not from graves, but inside me, my bones vibrating, my skin crawling. I find a new pin, in my bed, my name scratched, oozing black, the X deeper, burning like frost. The city's changing, folks whispering about missing kids, dust bleeding red, X's on their doors. I visit a medium, Rosa, 64, who's seen her dog's eyes black last month, the X on its skull. Rosa's terrified, says the woman's not a ghost, but a god, a hive living in the dust. She reads my palm, screams, her hands burning, the X on her skin, fresh, oozing pus. I leave, but Rosa's shop is dark by dawn, windows cracked, the X on her sign, glass pulsing like flesh. The choir's back, thousands strong, Sophie's voice leading. Lucas, you opened it. I'm back at the cemetery, always back, the dust a cage, the pin my chain. The hive's awakening. The cemetery's a wound now, gates split open, their iron pulsing, worms bursting through, eyes in their coils, staring. The shadows are legions, not just shapes, but armies, their bodies woven from dust, their mouths gaping, spewing ash. They chant my name, their voices wet like they're drowning in tar, their hands reaching, fingers too long, dripping slime. I find a journal, not mine, in the dust, dated 1780. It's not a graveyard, but a mouth, feeding on pain, its X a key. My name scratched on every page, wet with blood, and the paper smells of rot. The pin's humming louder, showing me 1819, Laveau's rise, her body split open, worms spilling out, her voice screaming, I'm not her. I try to pray, but the words burn, my tongue bleeding, the X on my lips pulsing. The woman's here, her shawl a hive, faces pushing out, their eyes black, their screams my own. The dust splits, and the thing rises, not her, but it, a mass of X's, eyes, worms, all singing, all hungry. I'm hers, and the cemetery's hers, and New Orleans is hers, and I'm screaming, but it's her voice. New Orleans is dying, or it's already dead. The dust's red now, oozing from the ground, the air thick with ash and rot. Folks are missing, whole families, their homes empty, X's on their walls, pulsing like hearts. I hear wails everywhere, not just the cemetery, but streets, churches, my shop, all screaming my name. I find a cop, Tessa, 33, who's seen her partner torn apart last week, the X on his bones. Tessa's desperate, eyes wild, says the city's cursed. The woman's not one, but many, a hive living in the dust. We search the cemetery, find gates open, bodies gone, their bones carved with X's, oozing black. Tessa screams and she's gone, pulled into the dust, her badge left behind, the X on it still glowing. The pin shows me Tessa, her body a hive, worms bursting out, her voice in the choir chanting, "Lucas, you're home." I'm alone, the city closing in, the woman's eyes in every shadow, her wail my pulse. My body's not mine, my skin's scaling, worms writhing under it, their claws scraping my bones, their eyes staring through my flesh. I cut my arm, and they spill out, black, wriggling, each with an X, pulsing, screaming my name. The pin's in my hand, always there. Its X burning through my soul, showing me Sophie, her body a hive, her voice soft. You let me die. I try to die, swallow pills, but they burn, my stomach oozing tar, the X on my tongue, alive. I dream of the thing, its eyes a cosmos, its mouths a choir, its worms in my blood, singing, "Lucas, you're us." The city's a graveyard now, dust bleeding, X's everywhere, walls, cars, my skin, all pulsing, all hers. I find a survivor, Emil, 25, hiding in a church, his sister gone, the X on her shoes. Emil joins me, but the dust takes him, his screams echoing, the X on my pin, his name fresh, dripping. I'm hers, and the world's hers, and I'm screaming, but it's her scream. I find a 1780 log in the archives, hidden in a cathedral vault, showing the cemetery's land marked with X's, labeled sacred. A settler's note says the dust bled when they settled, and something woke, its eyes taking their souls. The Dupre weren't the first. Settlers vanished here, their bones found with X's carved deep, hearts gone. I visit a historian, Claude, 74, who knows the tales, his wife lost in 83, the X on her grave. He says the whales scared off natives, kept them from the bayou. The dust of prophets' lie turned real. Claude's scared, his hands shaken, shows me a scar, X-shaped, from a night in 86 when he heard the wail. I leave, but his house is dark by dusk, windows shattered, the X on his door, wood pulsing like a heart. The pin's in my hand, showing me Claude, his face melting, his voice in the choir, chanting, "Open it." The city's bleeding now, red ooze seeping from the streets, smelling of iron and rot. The cemetery's a nightmare, gates collapsing, their iron turning to flesh, worms bursting through, mouths in their coils, screaming. The shadows are bolder, not just human, but things, their bodies split open, revealing eyes inside eyes, teeth like shards, spewing ash. They whisper my guilt. Sophie, Claude, Tessa, Emil, all dead because I kept searching, kept holding the pin. I find a child's toy in the dust, fresh, bloodied, the X on it, and my heart breaks, tears burning. The pin's humming so loud my skull cracks, showing me 1819, Creoles screaming, their blood feeding something below, its mouths in their souls. I try to burn the pin, but it laughs, the flames turning red, forming faces, Sophie's, mine, all screaming. The choir's a storm, millions now, their voices wet like they're drowning in tar. I see her again, standing by the vaults, her eyes an X, her shawl dripping worms, her wail tearing my soul apart. The dust splits, and the thing rises, not her, but it, a mass of X's, eyes, worms, all singing, all ravenous. I'm running, but the dust won't let me go. Gates bending, their frames like teeth dripping black ooze. The pin's in my hand, though I threw it away, its X burning through my heart, into my blood. I find a priest, Father Remy, 55, who's seen her, his dog torn apart last week, the X on its skull. He's crazed, eyes bloodshot. Says the woman's not one ghost, but a god, a hive, living in the graves. Remy joins me, desperate, but the dust turns on us, the air sucking at our lungs, like it's alive. We find a vault, its walls breathing, faces pushing out, their mouths gaping, spewing the choir's song. Remy screams, and he's gone, pulled into the ground, his cross left behind, the X on it, still glowing. The pin shows me Remy, his body split, worms bursting out, his voice in the choir, chanting, "Lucas, you're next." I'm alone, the cemetery closing in, the woman's eyes in every gate, her wail my breath. I hear a new voice, not Sophie's, not the woman's, but a boy's, crying from the dust. I find a teen, maybe 14, standing in the frost, his eyes black, the X on his chest, oozing pus. He says his name's Leon, lost in 95, his daddy praying by the vaults when the dust took him. Leon's hands are wrong, fingers too long, dripping slime, and he whispers, "You're like me, Lucas." I try to run, but he's in my head, showing me his death. Dust choking, his daddy screams, worms crawling from his eyes. The pin hums, showing me Leon, his body a hive, worms bursting from his skin, his voice soft. "Help me." I reach for him, but he's gone. The dust swallowing him, the X on my hand, his name beside mine. The choir's louder, Leon's voice leading. "Open it, Lucas." I'm breaking, the dust's breaking me, and the woman's laughing, her wail in my soul. I'm done fighting. The cemetery's waiting, the vault's gate a maw, the woman there, her shadow a wound in the dust, the choir deafening. The pin's a key, showing me the tomb, the X, the gate. I descend, alone to the dark. It's cold burning, the X everywhere, floor, walls, my flesh, oozing red. The Creoles are there, not dead, but hers. Their hands reaching, their eyes black, their bodies twisting, worms spilling out. I find the X, a vortex, spinning, alive, its edges pulsing like a heart, spewing black tar. The pin's in my hand, though I left it above, and it burns, showing me Sophie, Leon, all hers, their faces melting into her eyes. The voices are one, the thing below, ancient, endless, promising peace, family, oblivion. I touch the X, and it screams, my blood mixing with the ground, the cemetery shattering. "You're home." The ground shakes, the world shakes, and I'm not Lucas, not anymore. I'm the gate, the keeper, her voice, and she's free, her X everywhere, her hunger the world's. I'm back in New Orleans or nowhere, selling books, no graves, no moans. The X is on me, deep, glowing, and the voices are quiet, but not gone, whispering in dreams, my name in the dust, the tap of fingers. The vaults are gone, or I am, but I see them, in mirrors in the dark, her shadow my skin, her eyes mine, weeping tar. Leon's sister calls, says she's got a pin, my name in it, but I burn her number, move again. The X's multiply on my walls, my truck, my dreams, and I find pins, not mine, in my shop, all hers, all humming, coated in slime. I'm not Lucas, or not just Lucas. I'm the keeper, the gate, her claw, her hunger. The cemetery's in me, her roots my blood, her wail my breath. I dream of Sophie, her body a hive, worms bursting, her voice soft. You let it out. The shop's quiet, but the walls pulse. The X forming, and I know she's here, watching. I don't know where I am. The vaults are gone, or I am, but the X stays. The choir, the pin, the dust in my blood, pulsing like a wound. I see her in every shadow, every dust, her wail my own, her eyes in every mirror. The world's heavier, darker, like the cemetery spreading, her hunger in every heart, her X in every eye, weeping tar. If you're listening, maybe you've heard it, a wail in the night, your name in the dust, a scream at your window. Maybe you've seen her in a dream, a shadow, her eyes yours, her worms in your soul. She's not gone, not locked, not sleeping. She's waiting, her pin burning, her gate wide, her dust over every bayou. And somewhere, out there, St. Louis Cemetery's calling, rising from New Orleans, to a dust that don't forgive. That's the start of the Veil's feast, folks. If the cemetery's wail has you checking your mirrors, smash that like button. Craving more haunted tales? Subscribe and join the hunt. Got a New Orleans ghost story? Drop it in the comments. I'm listening. Till next time, keep your eyes on the graves and your pins locked.